Okay, this section is an example of an assessment that I designed. In part 1 of the Module 2 assignment, I wrote an essay evaluating a module on which I was going to teach, and this is the assignment that I created as a result of writing that essay. So that essay is later in the portfolio. You can see in that essay the learning outcomes for this module, which were around mostly transferable skills, a few subject-specific skills, but no actual prescribed mathematical syllabus. They were supposed to develop career skills, employability skills, and the ability to apply mathematics and question mathematical arguments and things like this. What I did for this was I came across a problem, art gallery problems, which are a pure mathematics problem dressed up as a real-world scenario. Now this is a brilliant opportunity because it means that the students, I can ask them to solve a real problem using this piece of mathematics, which actually practically is not that useful, and that gives, but it's so abstract as to be quite flawed, and that gives plenty of thought for space for critical thinking and sort of evaluation, honest evaluation of how effective their solution is in the context of the real world, relating the mathematics to the real world, identifying what's got, what simplifying assumptions it is that have brought about this situation, etc. So it's quite a nice problem to have them work on, I think, in a module like this, where the point is not to find out about this problem, but the point is to find out about to acquire the skills. They worked in teams. I made part of the assignment be part of the actual assessed marks were available for writing an initial plan of action, what they were going to do, and also they got marks for keeping minutes, having a meeting every week and keeping minutes of those meetings, so that every student each week was assigned, but there was a chair in each group, and every student was assigned an action, and the next week they were answerable to those actions. So I think that was a way of giving them the experience of working in the real world, essentially. Slightly contrived, but that they have to, this is how things really work, they're assigned something to do, and if they haven't done it they have to say why. So that was quite good. You can see the sheet that I gave them initially, which is the description of the problem, and also I set up some, I imagined a client to whom they were reporting, and so I've given them 12 museums, which are supposedly the client's museums. They had to write a report, which was in 2 parts. There was a report back to the client, which was supposed to be not very mathematical. It was supposed to convince the client that their solution was the right solution. There was a second report that was supposed to be very mathematical, that was supposed to be an internal technical report, which was supposed to be more critical of the mathematics involved and the validity of the model and all that. So there's a second sheet here, which is the report guidelines, essentially. It sort of collects together some bits and pieces that I told them about writing the report, which I handed to them later on in the module. There's also the mark scheme for the reports, and then a mark scheme for a presentation. The presentation was as if to other mathematicians in their company. Now really what you want to do is a client report. You want them to be speaking to a non-mathematical audience, because that's a very valuable skill for them to learn, but I didn't have a non-mathematical audience, and because of the way the project was set up, the client bit was going to be the same for all 10 groups, and the mathematical bit, which was an extension to the original problem, could have been different for each one, so I didn't want to have the same presentation 10 times over, because it would get slightly dull, and also that whoever went last would have the advantage of having seen all the previous ones, and one thing and another. So this is unfortunate, but I had them report on the extension to a mathematical audience rather than on the original problem, as if to the client. Also here is the mark scheme for the presentation, therefore, and the moderation exercise that I went through. This was of the reports. I gave the reports to a colleague, and he sample marked those, and his comments are here, which he was happy with my marks, thankfully, and in turn I sample marked an assignment for him, so that assignment sheet is here, and also the moderation sheet that I returned to him. So that's our little quality assurance procedure that we went through.